My class, good morning. Can you please check the audio if it's okay? Type Y in the chat box if you're hearing me. Okay, thank you. Check din natin yung chat box. Okay. Okay, so let's start. So, we're still at receivables, no? Yeah. Can you please check on what item tayo natapos sa receivables class? So, I think it's problem 2. Tama. Check nyo nga class. Okay. Okay, so let's start. Okay. So, if we're done with problem 1, na-discuss na natin siguro all the concept related until here. Okay. So we'd like to focus, no? First with the discussion on the estimation of doubtful accounts. Okay. So again, if we are talking about specific type of receivable, let's say accounts receivable, the initial measurement is at its face amount being short term and subsequently measured at net realizable value at the expected amount of cash to be received from that debtor, no, na may utang sa atin. Okay. So, to get the net realizable value, that is the ending balance of your accounts receivable minus the allowances. Allowance for freight charges, allowance for sales discount, and allowance for doubtful accounts. The most common type of allowance being given in the problem as far as board examination is concerned is about the allowance for doubtful accounts. Why? Because there are several considerations that we will have to take into as far as this concept is concerned. Okay? So, accounting for bad debts, there are two methods. One is the allowance method, and the second one is the direct write-off method. If the problem is silent, we assume, no, based on standards or within we if the problem is silent, it is a must for us to use the allowance method. Okay. So under the allowance method, if there is a doubtful as to the collectibility of the account, you can now recognize an expense. Debit doubtful account expense and credit allowance for doubtful accounts. Write-off, patayin mo yung receivable dito. Debit allowance for doubtful accounts, credit AR, and recovery. Okay? Bago ka mag-record ng collection, buhayin mo muna yung accounts receivable. And that is to reverse this entry previously written off debit AR and credit allowance for doubtful accounts. Then that's the time that you can now set up the entry for collection. This is debit cash and credit AR. For the direct write-off method, this may be given, no, in theoretical questions. Okay? So, it is only at the point of write-off that the direct write-off method will recognize the doubtful account expense, debit doubtful account expense, and credit accounts receivable. While for the recovery, wala kasi siyang mare-reverse. Why? Kasi isa ay nominal account, yung isa ay real account or balance sheet accounts. Dito kasi sa kabila, sa allowance method, these are all real accounts, balance sheet accounts. Kaya pwede kang mag-reverse. Dito, hindi. Okay? Kasi namamatay ito at the end of the accounting period. Okay? Being a nominal account. Kaya kapag mayroong recovery using the direct write-off method, debit cash, credit gain on receivable. On recovery, I mean. Gain on recovery. Okay. So let's have this three methods of estimating doubtful accounts. One is the percentage of net credit sales, or sometimes called percentage of sales method. Regardless if the problem will provide you percentage of sales method, still that you will be considering the credit sales. Why? Because we are talking about an account that is doubtful as to its collectibility. At ang doubtful lang naman as to its collectibility, that is only related to credit sales. Wala nang cash sales dyan kasi collected na ang cash sales. So that is percentage of estimate times the net credit sales. Kuha mo kaagad si doubtful account expense. In letter B, percentage of receivables, you will be using the ending balance of your AR times the percentage of estimate. Then you have the required allowance or the ending balance of the allowance for doubtful accounts. Then the aging method, these are age based on outstanding number of days. So you have the receivable balance group according to age, let's say 0 to 30, 31 to 60, 61 to 90, etc. Times the percentage of uncollectibility. Okay? At ang makukuha mo dito is also the required allowance or the ending balance of the allowance for doubtful accounts. Okay. Letter A is also called the income statement approach since ang resulta ay nominal account kaagad. While items B and C, these are called balance sheet approaches. Since ang na-produce nito ay required allowance or the ending balance of the allowance for doubtful accounts. Doubtful account expense should be considered as a general and administrative expense. However, if the credit in collection is being administered by a sales manager or sales personnel, that would now become a selling expense or part of the distribution cost. If the problem is silent, yes, you will be using the general and administrative expenses. Let's now go to the problem. So in problem 3 or problem 2, the requirement is for us to compute the budget expense, the allowance for doubtful accounts, and the net realizable value. Okay. So, the first thing that we will have to know is what method is to be used to account for the estimated doubtful accounts. Okay? So, I will just copy the problem in Excel. Okay. So, in this problem class, the problem requires us to use the percentage of credit sales method. Okay. And under the percentage of credit sales method, ang sabi natin, ang resulting product nito is the doubtful account expense. Class, share na natin yung buong screen. Okay. Okay. So percentage of credit sales method tayo. Okay, again, requirement, budget expense, allowance for doubtful accounts, net realizable value. What we need here is the percentage of estimate times the net credit sales. Okay? So here, the percentage of estimate is 2%. So this is 2%. Then, What we need is the net credit sales. Okay? If we will read the problem, ito yung sales natin. The total sales is 600,000 pesos. This is your total sales, 600,000 pesos. Okay? Then, that total sales composed of your cash sales and credit sales. Cash and credit sales. It says here that 100,000 belongs to cash sales. So this is 100,000. And the remainder is 500,000. That is 600,000 minus 100,000. This is your 500,000. But this is not yet your net credit sales. This is your gross credit sales because it says here that there are sales returns and discounts. Okay, this is your gross credit sales minus the sales returns, discount, and allowance. This is now your net credit sales. Okay? So here, sabi niya, sales returns and discounts including 1,000 sales returns on cash sales. Ibig sabihin, out of this 6,000 pesos, meron daw 1,000 sales returns and discount that belongs to the cash sales. Okay? Therefore, ang sales returns and discount kay credit sales ay 5,000 pesos. Okay? So meaning the net credit sales here is only 495,000 pesos. So this is minus the 5,000 sales returns and discount, and this is now 500,000 minus 5,000, 495,000 pesos, which will now be the basis in computing for your bad debt expense. The percentage of uncollectibility estimated and the net credit sales of 495,000, and this is now the answer for item A. 2% times 495,000, and this is 9,900. Okay, that is already your bad debt expense. Then allowance for doubtful accounts, December 31. So let's set up the T account for the allowance for doubtful accounts. This is allowance for doubtful accounts, T account. Since this is a contra asset, the normal balance is a credit balance. Okay, so this is your beginning, this is your doubtful account expense, and this is your recovery, this is your write-off, and this is now your ending balance. I'm using the old T account class na nag-usap na tayo dyan last time. Okay, that the debits will always be equal to credits. Okay, so it says here that the allowance for doubtful accounts has a beginning balance of 8,000 pesos. Then you have your write-offs here of 5,000. And you have your recovery here of 1,000 pesos. And you have your computed doubtful account expense at 9,900. Entry for this, allowance method, debit doubtful accounts, credit allowance for doubtful accounts. Entry for write-off, debit allowance for doubtful accounts, credit accounts receivable. And the entry for allowance for doubtful accounts, there are two entries. One, buhayin CAR, credit allowance for doubtful accounts, and debit cash, credit AR. Recoveries then has no effect on the accounts receivable since nag-debit ka at nag-credit ka lang. Nag-credit ka din. Okay? So here, the answer for this is 8,000 plus 9,900 plus 1,000 recovery minus 5,000. So this is now 13,900 for letter B. Then the third requirement is for us to compute the net realizable value. Again, net realizable value is the ending balance of your AR minus the allowances. And the only allowance given in this problem or that can be derived in this problem is only the allowance for doubtful accounts. So allowance for doubtful accounts. And the ending balance of your accounts receivable given, and that is 150,000 pesos. Minus the allowance for doubtful accounts of 39, and this is now your net realizable value. So this is 150,000 minus 13,900, and this is now the answer for letter C. That is 136,100. Okay? May sagot na pala sa problem to. Inulit lang po. Okay lang. So let's now move to problem 3. So in problem 3, okay, correction class this should be percentage of receivables method. Okay, paki-correct yung handout niya, no? This should be percentage of receivable. Okay? So, yeah. Okay. So, correction dito class this should be percentage of receivable method instead of percentage of credit sales. Okay? So, the next method is now the balance sheet method. This is now your percentage of receivable method. So, step number 1 under the percentage of receivable method is to determine the ending balance of your accounts receivable. Okay? So, let's set up the T account for your accounts receivable. Okay? Accounts receivable tayo. So, this is accounts receivable. So, what we need is the ending balance of your accounts receivable. So, we have the beginning balance. This is your net credit sales. Then, you have your collections. You have your write-off. Okay. And this is now the ending balance of your accounts receivable. Take note I've used the net credit sales. Okay? So, meaning, any effect related to contra revenue, sales returns, discount, and allowances has been considered, kaya net na ito. Beginning balance is 80,000 pesos. Okay? Then we have the net credit sales of 270,000 pesos. Then collections of 140,000 excluding recoveries. Okay lang, kasi excluding na yung recoveries eh. Take note, ang sabi natin kanina, that recovery has no effect in AR kasi nag-debit and credit lang naman siya. So dito, nag-debit and credit lang din yung recoveries na magkano? 1,000 pesos. So in effect, walang epekto sa AR natin. In the event na sinabi niya na including recoveries, tatanggalin mo. Okay? So paano mo tatanggalin? Mag-debit ka. O kaya tanggalin mo muna or tanggalin mo na diretso dun sa collections. Okay? Then we have here collections write-off of 5,000 pesos. Okay? And this is now the ending balance of your accounts receivable. So this is 80,000 plus 270,000 minus 140 minus 5. So this is 205,000 pesos times the percentage of estimate related to uncollectibility, and that should be your answer. Wala pa pala kasi wala namang tanong na required allowance. Okay. So 205,000 times the percentage of, this should be percentage of receivables percentage of estimate na 5%. And this is now 205,000 times 5%. And this is now your required allowance or the ending balance of the allowance for doubtful accounts. Okay? So to compute for the budget expense, squeeze natin siya. So again, let's have the T account for the allowance for doubtful accounts. Okay. So here, we have now the ending balance. which is the required allowance, 10,250. We have a write-off of 5,000 here. Then we have a recovery of 1,000 here. And a beginning balance amounting to 10,000 pesos. 10,000. Okay, so let's squeeze the doubtful account expense. So this is 5,000 plus 10,250 minus 10,000 minus 1,000. And this is now the answer, 4,250. Okay, let's check the figures. 10,000, write off 5,000, 10,250, and recovery of 1,000. Okay, so this is 10 to 50 plus 5,000 minus 10,000 minus 1,000. 4,250 doubtful account expense. Entry, doubtful account expense, credit allowance for doubtful accounts. Then we have the net realizable value. Net realizable value is the ending balance of your AR minus the allowances. And the only allowance provided here is the allowance for doubtful accounts. So the ending balance is 205,000 pesos minus the allowance for doubtful accounts, which is 10,250. And this is now 205,000 minus 10,250. And this is now our answer. That is 194,750. Okay? So let's move to problem 4. So while I'm copying problem 4 is related to percentage of receivables method also. However, in problem 4, hindi binigay yung corresponding rates. Okay? So let's have this problem. Sabihin nyo class kung nag-champion ha, kasi napakalakas ng ulan dito. Okay, class. Sorry, nawala yung connection. Lakas kasi ng ulan eh. Okay na? Can you please check if naririnig ako? So, hindi ko alam.
Naririnig po.
Habang did we finish this no bago nawala?
Opo.
Okay, thank you. So that's a problem 3. Problem 4, I mean. Okay. So in problem 4 class, this is also percentage of receivables method. However, under percentage of receivables method in this problem did not provide the corresponding percentages of estimate as to the percentage of uncollectibility. Okay? So, in this problem, kabibigay lang nito klase sa board examination mga 2 years or 2 examinations ago. Okay? So, this problem is an actual board exam problem. So, what we need here is the computation of the percentage of estimate. Okay? Let's read the problem first. Sabi niya dito, air company has been recognizing budget expense using based on the allowance method, and that doubtful accounts shall be estimated using the percentage of receivable method. The percentage will be computed based on all available historical data up to maximum 4 years. Ito na yun. The balances of accounts receivable on January 1, 2019 and December 2019 are 100,000 and 200,000 respectively. Compute for the accounts, doubtful account expense to be recognized in 2019. Okay, so the last year, 2019. So, sabi natin, under the percentage of receivables method, what we need are the ending balances of your accounts receivable. Okay. So the ending balance provided here is your December 31, 2019. So the accounts receivable has an ending balance of 200,000 December 31, 2019. And we are referring to the allowance for doubtful accounts for 2019. So what we need is the ending balance of AR. And the ending balance of AR here is 200,000 pesos. Okay? So the requirement is for us to compute this doubtful account expense. Okay? Meron tayong beginning dito. Beginning allowance for doubtful accounts 2019. Take note that the beginning balance of the allowance for doubtful accounts 2019 is also the ending balance of the allowance for doubtful accounts in 2018. Itong beginning na yan, ending yan ng 2019. Ending balance of the allowance for doubtful accounts in 2018. Okay? So, yung ending balance ng allowance for doubtful accounts ng 2018, nanggaling yan saan? Ending balance ng AR times the percentage of estimate. Okay? And the ending balance of your AR is also the beginning balance of your AR come 2019. This is the ending balance of the accounts receivable 2018. Okay? So, the ending balance of your AR 2018 is also the beginning balance of your AR in 2019. Ito na yan. The beginning balance of AR 2019. Therefore, the beginning balance of your AR, which is also the ending balance in 2018, binigay. Ito yun. The balances of AR on January is 100,000 pesos. So this is 100,000 pesos. Okay? Times the percentage of estimate, makukuha natin yung beginning balance ng allowance for doubtful accounts 2019, which is also the ending balance of your allowance for doubtful accounts in 2018. Okay. Ito naman, 200,000 times the percentage of estimate makukuha natin yung ending balance ng allowance for doubtful accounts 2019. But the problem did not provide any information related to the explicit percentage of uncollectibility. Okay, wala dyan. Pero sinabi niya, the percentage will be computed based on all available historical data up to a maximum of 4 years. So we will compute for the percentage of uncollectibility estimate. So to compute this, sabi niya kasi, based on all available historical data up to a maximum of 4 years. Okay. So to compute for the percentage of estimate, this is now the formula. We will consider the total write-offs, total write-offs minus the total recoveries divided by the total net credit sales. So divided by the total net credit sales. Yan siya. So for beginning 2019, what we will consider is the coverage period for 3 years only. Bakit 3 years lang? Kasi class, end yan ng 2018. Yung beginning ng 2019 is the ending of 2018. And sabi niya, the percentage will be computed based on all available data up to a maximum of 4 years. So, ibig sabihin, given sa information na 4-year time lang, pero ang mako-compute mo lang as far as 2018 is concerned, 3 taon lang. Dahil hanggang dito lang ang info 2016, 2017, 2018. Hanggang 2018 lang tayo since we are computing for the beginning 2019 or the ending of 2018. So meaning, to compute for this percentage, that is total write-offs from 2016 to 2018 minus total recoveries from 2016 to 2018 divided by the total net credit sales from 2016 to 2018. This is now the coverage period. Okay, so this is from 2016 to 2018. Okay? Dito naman sa kabila, the same formula will be used. Total write-offs, we're talking about the percentage here, minus total recoveries divided by the total net credit sales. But this time, we're talking about ending of 2019. Therefore, the full 4 coverage period can now be used from 2016 to 2019. So, mababago ang coverage period natin dito. So, this should be 2019. Okay? Let's try. So, can you please compute for the percentage of uncollectibility estimate, beginning and ending? So, just like here, total write-offs, that is 7,000 plus 10,000 plus 15,000 minus the total recoveries, that is 1,000 plus 3,000 plus 5,000 divided by the total net credit sales of 100,000 plus 160 plus 200,000. You can now get this percentage. And the same procedure applies here. However, this time, this should now be for a 4-year coverage period. Chat box, please. What are the corresponding percentages? Okay, class, try mo. So this is what percentage? Okay, so for 2018, this is 5%. How about for 2018 ending ito or the beginning of 2019? How about here? So this is what? So this can be derived by 4-year period, 7 plus 10 plus 15 plus 28. Recoveries, that is 1 plus 3 plus 5 plus 2. Net credit sales of 100 plus 160 plus 200 plus 240. So this is 7%. Okay? So this is now 7%. So this is now the required allowance, which is 200,000 times 7%, and this is 14,000. Here, this is 100,000 times 5%. This is 5,000. Pag ang ginawa mo class, 14 minus 5, may lalabas yan. Saan? May lalabas sa multiple choice. Pero maling sagot yon. Why? Baka makalimutan mo, may write-off tayo ng 2019 that is 28,000 at may recovery tayo ng 2019 which is 5,000. Ito, recovery ay 20 or 2,000. Okay? We have a recovery of 2,000 in 2019 and a write-off of 28,000 in 2019. So let's now solve this problem. So this is 28,000 plus 14,000 minus 5,000 minus 2,000. And this is now the answer. 35,000 pesos. That is the doubtful account expense to be recognized in 2019. Okay? So let's now move to problem next. Problem next is about the aging method. So under the aging method, what we need are the receivable balances. Group according to age times the percentage of uncollectibility. So this is now your problem next. And this is problem 5. Okay? And the requirement for this problem is to compute for 1, to compute for the allowance for doubtful accounts and the doubtful account expense. Okay. So let's read problem 5. It says here that air sells to wholesalers on terms 215 and 30. An analysis of air companies' trade receivable balances are as follows. So your receivables are grouped according to age. That is 0 to 15 down to 121 to 150. And merong sinabing the company uses the aging of receivable method and the estimated percentage of uncollectibility based on past experience are shown below. Okay, so this is now the percentage of collectibility. What we need is the percentage of uncollectibility. Since complementary ratio lang naman yon, if the percentage of collectibility is 97%, therefore the percentage of uncollectibility is 3%. Okay? And it says here that the allowance for doubtful accounts has a balance of 8,000 beginning January 1, 2019. No write-offs or recoveries were made during the year. Okay. So since we are using the percentage of the aging method, aging method, so receivables should be grouped according to age. So this is 0 to 15. Okay. Then this is 16 to 30. 31 to 60. 61 to 90. 91 to 120. And we have 1 to 1, 150. And these are the balances. 100,000, 60, 40, down to 20. Okay, so this is 60,000, 50,000, 61 to 90, 40,000, 30,000, and 20,000. Okay? Then, times the percentage of uncollectibility. However, class, mag-ingat ka kasi the common mistake here, nakakalimutan na sinabi, these are the accounts overdue. Overdue means past due, di ba? Past due. Kailan ka ba magiging past due? Kung hindi ka nagbayad sa takdang panahon na dapat magbayad ka. So meaning you will consider the credit period. And the credit period is until the 30th day, 2, 15, and 30. So, bibig sabihin, tatanungin natin, eto ba ay past due na? Okay? Is the 0 to 15 age of receivables 100,000 classified under this age? Are these receivables considered past due? Yes or no? Chat box please. So hindi pa kasi nasa credit period pa siya. Okay? So this is no. How about 16 to 30? The answer is no since nasa credit period pa din siya. Okay? So this is no. How about here? Past due na ba to? Past due na ba? Yung 31 to 60? The answer is yes. Ang tanong, gaano katagal past due to? Past due for how many days? Since past due yan, past due for how many days? So, let's have 31 days. 31 days age of receivable is past due for how many days? Ito. Let's take this 31, this 31 days. If that is on the 31st day, 31st day, what is the number of days past due? How many days past due? 1 day, di ba? Kasi the credit period is 30 days. Okay? So this 31 to 60, yes, this is past due, but this is past due for only 1 day to 30 days. Kasi minus 30 tayo eh. Minus 30 days credit period minus 30. So that is past due for 1 to 30. And these are also past due. Kasi past due na yung 31 to 60 eh. O, pag tinanong kita, how many days past due is 61 to 90? Chat box please. How many days past due for receivables under the group 61 to 90? So that is past due for what range? That is past due for, yes, that is past due for 31 to 60. Minus 30, minus 30, di ba? So this is minus 30 dyan, minus 30 din dito. So this is now past due for 31 to 60. Ganon din naman sa kabila. Okay, minus 30. So this is past due for 61 to 90. And this is past due minus 30 for 91 to 120. Okay? Therefore, kung doubtful account sa pag-uusapan natin, hindi natin pag-uusapan itong 0 to 30 days. Kasi hindi naman sila past due. So, manggagaling ngayon ang doubtful accounts natin dito sa mga uncollectible accounts beyond the credit period. So what we need here is the percentage now of uncollectibility. Okay? And the percentage of uncollectibility for those accounts with less than 31 days past due, ito yon, less than 31 days past due. If the percentage of collectibility is 97%, therefore the percentage of uncollectibility is 3%. Okay? How about here, 31 to 60? What is the percentage of uncollectibility? Chat box, please. 31 to 60, what is the percentage of uncollectibility? And that is only 10%. Complementary ratios lang naman siya. And this is 61 to 90 with percentage of collectibility of 85%. So the percentage of uncollectibility is 15%. Okay? While the 121 to 150 age of receivable, which are considered past due as 91 to 120, as a percentage of collectibility of 65%. Therefore, the percentage of uncollectibility is 35%. Okay? So, let's now multiply the outstanding balance times the percentage of uncollectibility. Okay. So to get the corresponding required allowance, and the required allowance is the total amount. And the total amount here is, so this is 17,000 pesos. And the 17,000 pesos is your required allowance or the ending balance of the allowance for doubtful accounts. Okay? That is the answer for letter A. And to compute for letter B, we are asked to compute the doubtful account expense. Okay, so this is the T account for allowance for doubtful accounts. So this is now the allowance for doubtful accounts for what year? For 2019. Beginning balance was provided, and the beginning balance is 8,000 here. Okay. Then the required allowance is your 17,000 pesos here. Okay. Then consider any write-offs or recovery. But the problem did not mention about it. Sinabi niya, no write-offs nor recoveries. Therefore, the answer here is 17,000 minus 8,000. And that is, 9,000 pesos is the answer. Okay? That is problem 5. Next, let's go to problem 6. However, class, in problem 6, this is now related to the measurement of receivable considering the non-interest bearing notes. Nakita yun? Sige. Lecture tayo dito. Concept muna tayo. Okay. Wait lang na sa babagal internet ko. Okay, so let's siguro i-lecture ko lang to hanggang dun sa dulo. Yan. Can you please check, class, kung okay na yung audio natin before I proceed? Wala kasi yung net. Kung nasan man kayo, no? Kung
Meron po, sir.
umuulan dito, baka umuulan din naman dyan. Wala ito. Mabagal siya. Lang. Okay, lecture tayo. So these are now the measurement of receivables. No? So let's classify now receivables. Pwede kasi siyang short term or long term. Okay? Ayan. Okay. I hope I'm sharing the word file. Okay. Thank you. So, again, receivables are classified one. This may be classified as short term or long term. So, sulat na lang natin. Short term yan o long term. Okay. Short term tayo. So, short term receivables natin class, nandyan si accounts receivable mo. Nandyan si AR mo, tsaka nandyan si notes receivable natin. Notes receivable. Okay? Dito na lang ako sa Excel para isang file tayo. Wait lang. Mabilis lang to. Para ma-document natin sa isang file na isisend ko. Kaya nga sa bagay. Okay. So, nandito na rin tayo sa file na isisend ko sa inyo. Okay. So, short-term receivables can cover your accounts receivable and notes receivable. Short-term, ibig sabihin, 12 months or less. Okay. So, we will have now the initial measurement and the subsequent measurement. Okay. Ang initial measurement nito at short term, that is at face amount. This is the transaction cost eh. Okay? Technically class, sa short term, that is the face amount. Okay? That's the initial direct cost directly attributable to the acquisition. Nga lang class kapag short term, napaka-least na magbigay pa ng gano'n. Biruin mo, 3 buwan lang ang receivable mo, meron pang initial direct cost. Sa totoong buhay, napaka-least na mangyari yan. Pero in theory, face amount plus transaction cost directly attributable to the acquisition. Okay. The subsequent measurement of that is at net realizable value. Tandaan mo, lahat class ng initial measurement ay face amount, ang subsequent measurement niyan at net realizable value. Okay, next. We have now the long term, di ba? So the long term receivables. Okay? Particularly notes, di ba? Yan. Kasi nga itong AR mo that is open receivables which wala siyang notes. Kapag notes receivable, may notes siya. Okay. Meron ka ditong interest bearing at saka non-interest bearing. Yan. Dito muna tayo sa non-interest bearing. Yan. Ang non-interest bearing note mo, the initial measurement niyan at present value and the subsequent measurement niyan at amortized cost using the effective interest method of amortization. Okay? Kapag naman yan interest bearing, that is at face amount and subsequently measured at net realizable value. Provided class na ito ay merong realistic rate. Paano ba yun, sir? I will now provide the complete concept. Okay. Pupunta ako dito. Ito ang kumpletong konsepto. Okay. Ito yung short term natin na pinag-uusapan natin kanina. Initial measurement niyan at face amount. And the subsequent measurement niyan at net realizable value. Pumunta tayo sa long term. It may be long-term interest bearing or long-term non-interest bearing. Okay. Kapag interest bearing class, the initial measurement of that, sabi ko ay face amount and subsequent measurement at net realizable value. Ito yon. Face amount, net realizable value. Provided na realistic ang rate nila. Paano mo masasabing realistic ang rate? Realistic ang rate niyan if the effective rate is equal to the nominal rate. Ito yan. Interest bearing with realistic rate, the face amount or the effective rate is equal to the nominal rate. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, ito, realistic ang rate. So, with realistic rate. Realistic ang rate niyan if the effective rate is equal to your nominal rate. Okay? Ibig sabihin, meron sir na non-realistic. Meron. So, interest bearing with unrealistic rate. Unrealistic. Paano mo masabing unrealistic? The effective rate is not equal to the nominal rate. So, ito yon. Interest bearing with unrealistic rate, the effective rate is not equal to the nominal rate. Ito. If that is now the case, the initial measurement now is at present value and subsequently measured at amortized cost using the effective interest method of amortization. Okay? If there would be an unrealistic rate, lalabas yung tinatawag na discount or premium. Okay? Kailan lalabas ang discount or premium? If the effective rate is higher than the nominal rate, there would be a discount to be considered. Kabaliktaran naman nun. So, para mas mabilis, daanin natin dito. Tandaan mo yung end. Ano yung end? Dito. Wala. Walang tandaan mo. If the effective rate is greater than the nominal rate, there is a discount. Okay? Siyempre, kabaliktaran yon. If the effective rate is less than the nominal rate, there is a premium. Kaya nga, ito lang pinapatanda ko sa yung end lang. Kasi, pag nag-deviate yan dyan, premium na yon. Diba? Effective rate is greater than the nominal rate, that is a discount. Otherwise, premium. That is now your interest-bearing receivable. How about for non-interest-bearing? A non-interest bearing note should be measured at present value and subsequently measured at amortized cost using the effective interest method of amortization. Okay? But the present value here should be based on the type of non-interest bearing note. Okay, paano yun? Kapag lump sum class, lump sum one time, di ba? One time ang collection ng interest at principal. You will use the present value factor of 1. Okay? Kapag naman installment yan, installment, you will use the present value factor of an annuity. And the present value factor of an annuity may be an ordinary annuity or an annuity due. Kailan mo gagamitin ang present value ng ordinary annuity? If the date of transaction, okay, coincides with the date of first collection. Date na first collection. Okay? First installment or collection. First installment. Yan. You will use the present value of an annuity due if the date of transaction did not coincide with the date of first collection or installment. Okay? Yan. Let's say the date of transaction is January 1 and the date of first installment is also on January 1, you will use the present value of an annuity due. Okay? If the date of transaction is January 1 and the date of first installment is December 31, you will use the present value of an ordinary annuity. Before we proceed, concept tayo. Using the concept map. Yan, medyo okay na yung net. Tumigil na ulit. Okay. Okay. So nandito kasi tayo sa I would like to emphasize yung present value na yan tsaka yung amortized cost. Kasi class, napaka-importante nito. Pag hindi mo to naintindihan, mahihirapan na naman tayo sa mga susunod na sorry paki-zoom sabi na Eliza. Ngayon ko lang nakita. Mamaya. Eliza. Okay. Am I sharing the concept map? Nasa mapa na tayo. Okay. Tingnan mo to. Ang importante dyan, class, malaman mo yung difference ng interest-bearing at non-interest-bearing. Sabi natin kanina, the initial measurement of interest-bearing is at face amount. If the problem is silent as to the realistic or unrealistic rate, realistic yon. The initial measurement is at face amount and subsequently measured at net realizable value. However, class, if that is long-term non-interest bearing, you cannot measure that at face amount. The initial measurement is at present value. Bakit? Tingnan mo, class. Dalawang puno ito. Ako teacher dito, maniwala ang puno yan. Yan. Isang puno na walang bunga at isang puno na may bunga. As an analogy, this is your interest bearing. Mamumunga pa lang. Kaya yan ay mini-measure at face amount. Nakuha. Now, pag non-interest bearing kasi may bunga na yan. Kaya hindi na yan mamumunga pa ng interest kasi may nakakabit ng bunga. May interest na yon. Kaya hindi mo yan pwedeng ipakita at face amount initially. Okay? Kaya i-multiply mo yan sa present value factor. Pag minultiply mo itong puno with bunga times the present value factor, tatanggalin niya yung corresponding interest. Kaya ito ang magiging present value mo na wala yung interest. Hindi mo pwedeng ipakita at face amount kasi may bunga na eh. Yung bunga ka kasi class, wala namang puno na pag tinanim mo, may bunga na. Okay? Yung bunga class lumalabas after the passage of time. Ganon din ang interest. Interests are recognized after the passage of time. Kaya ito ngayon ang present value niya. At yung difference ng puno with bunga and the puno without bunga, yung bunga, which is the earned interest income, which can be recognized as interest income over the passage of time. Okay? So, and sabi natin, these present value factors would now be dependent on what type of long-term non-interest bearing is that. If that is lump sum, you will use the present value factor of 1. If the note is installment, you will either use the present value of an annuity due or present value of an ordinary annuity. And the present value of an ordinary annuity can be used if the date of transaction did not coincide with the date of first installment. Okay? And the present value of an annuity will be used if the date of transaction coincide with the date of first installment. Okay. Ganito, let's have an exercise. Okay. Calculus, ha? If we will deposit 10,000 today in an investment that will earn 10% compounded annually in 3 years, magkano ang pera natin pagkatapos ng 3 taon? Again, if we will deposit 10,000 today in an investment that will earn 10% compounded annually in 3 years, magkano ang pera natin sa loob ng 3 taon, sa ika-3 taon? So to simplify, hanapin mo yung future value kasi nun eh. That is 10,000 times 1.1 times 1.1 times 1.1. 3 beses kasi 3 years eh. Magkano ang pera natin in the third year? So 10,000 times 1.1 times 1.1 times 1.1 is what? Chat box please. Magkano? That is 13,310. Okay? Eh kung ganito ang itanong ko sa'yo, okay? Next question. If I want to earn 13,310, okay? In 3 years time, okay? In 3 years time, in an investment that will earn 10% compounded annually in 3 years, how much will I deposit today? That is another question. Kung gusto kong kumuha ng pera na 13,310 pagkatapos ng 3 taon sa isang investment na ang interest ay 10% compounded annually in 3 years, magkano ang i-deposito ko ngayon? Binaliktad ko lang yung tanong. Chat box please. O, di ba 10,000? Meaning, the 13,310 is the future value and the present value of the 13,310 is 10,000 pesos. Pero class, hindi ganun kasimple. Ang ginawa mo dyan, the 13,310, minultiply mo yan sa present value factor. Okay. Kung babalik tayo sa concept map, ito yung 13,310. Minultiply mo yan sa present value factor, kaya lumabas yung present value mo na 10,000 pesos. Okay. Now, that is a 3-year time. So that is long term. And the transaction is what? Is in lump sum because the collection of 10,000 and the 3,310 will only happen on the third year. So nasan tayo? Nandyan ka sa lump sum. So if that is lump sum, you will use now the present value factor of 1. So meaning we will compute for the present value factor since the board exam did not provide any present value factors. So the rate that we have used is 10%. This is the effective rate. And the period is 3 years, that is N. Okay? So what is now the present value factor of of 1 at 10% n is equal to 10. N is equal to 3. Present value factor at 10% n is equal to 3. That is 0.751315. Paano nakuha yon? 1.1, dalawang divide, tatlong equals. Subukan mo sa calcu mo. 1.1, dalawang divide, tatlong equals. Pantindahang calcu 1, 2, 3. So that is 0.751315. Nakukuha ba sa calcu mo yon? Type Y in the chat box if you're having that. Okay, sige. So ang nasa calcu mo ngayon, 1.1, dalawang divide, 1, 2, 3. Ang nasa calcu mo ngayon, di ba 0.7513148009, yung mahaba, no? I-multiply mo yan ngayon sa 13,310. Okay, multiply mo yan sa 13,310. What is the answer? Rounded off. Chat box please. 10,000 pesos. Yun yung essence niyan. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, class, this 13,310 here times the present value factor of 0.751315. Kaya mo ginawa yun para makuha mo lang yung corresponding present value ngayon na tinanggalan mo na ng interest. And that is your 10,000. So, the difference now between this 13,310 and the 10,000 is the 3,310. And that is your unearned interest income as far as January 1 is concerned that can be considered as interest income over the passage of time. Okay? Ganon siya. So let's now continue with the problem. Okay? So, yung problem 6 natin, class, nag-concentrate ito sa mga non-interest bearing. Bakit? Kasi may ginawa akong recording related to non-interest bearing. Pero siguro para hindi makawala, no, after item 8 or 9, kasi ito inventory na we will proceed with the part of the recording, i-discuss ko pa rin, no, na interest bearing. Ito tayo. So let's have item 6 first. In item 6 class, sabi niya, on January 1, 2019, Air Company sold a transport equipment with historical cost of 2 million and accumulated depreciation daw of 700,000. In exchange, no? In exchange, dito tayo nakatuto. In exchange for a note, okay? And the note is a long-term note, okay? And in exchange for 100,000 cash and non-interest-bearing note of 1 million due on December 31, 2021, okay? The prevailing rate of interest for this type of note is 12%. Okay? Unang tanong, is this a long-term or a short-term note? Chat box. Idadissect natin ang concepts. This is a long-term. Is this an interest-bearing note or non-interest-bearing note? So this is a non-interest-bearing note. So we will now be using the concept of non-interest-bearing note long-term. Okay. So what is now the initial measurement? What is now the initial measurement of a long-term non-interest-bearing note? Initial measurement tayo. That is at present value. Okay. Next, is this lump sum or installment? Is this lump sum or installment? Lump sum means you will collect the principal and interest on the end of the credit term. So this is lump sum. So if that is lump sum, what is the present value factor to be used? Present value factor of 1 or present value of an annuity? We will use the present value factor of 1. Okay? But before we proceed, tapusin na natin lahat ng mga present value factors. Okay, ito siya. Yung kaninang ginawa natin, class, ito yon. At a discount rate or effective rate of 10%, n is equal to 3. That is at present value factor of 1, 0.751315. While if this is now installment, if what if this is installment and the date of transaction did not coincide with the date of first installment payment, we will use the present value factor of 1. Okay, because that present value factor of an ordinary annuity, I mean. Okay, the date of transaction did not coincide with the date of first payment or installment, we will use the present value factor of an annuity or of an ordinary annuity. Okay? And the present value factor of an ordinary annuity at 10% n is equal to 3 is 2.4869. And that can be computed by using this formula under the pantindahang calcu. 1.1, dalawang divide, tatlong equals, minus 1 divided by 0.1. Yan yon. Then, if is if the note is installment, so we will be using the present value of an annuity. And if the date, okay, if the date of transaction coincides with the date of first installment, let's say January 1, and the first installment is also January 1, we will be using the present value of an annuity due. Okay? At 10% n is equal to 3. By using this pantindahang formula, 1.1, dalawang divide, dalawang equals na lang. Why dalawang equals na lang? Because there is an advance payment eh. Instead of 3, since may advance payment, dalawa na lang ito. Okay? Minus 1 divided by 0.1 minus 1. 1.1, dalawang divide, dalawang equals, minus 1 divided by 0.1 minus 1. Okay? In the next 30 seconds, palabasin mo yung tatlong present value factors na to before we proceed with the solving of problems. So at 10% n is equal to 3, the present value factor of 1 is 0.751315. The present value of an ordinary annuity is 2.4869. And the present value of the annuity due is 2.7355. Okay? After getting these three present value factors, we are now ready to solve any problems related to non-interest bearing note. Okay? Palabasin mo yung tatlong present value factors na to and type Y in the chat box if you already got those three present value factors. Okay? 30 seconds to 1 minute. Your time starts now. Yan, sige. So the present value factor of 1 at 10% n is equal to 3. That is 1.1. Dalawang divide, tatlong equals. Okay. Siguro sabay-sabay na tayo. Present value factor of 1, 1.1. Dalawang divide. Okay. The tatlong equals, 1, 2, 3. Are you getting 0.7513? Yes or no? Chat box, please. Yes. So we're done with present value factor of 1. Let's now go to the present value of an ordinary annuity. Okay? That is 1.1, dalawang divide, tatlong equals, 1, 2, 3, minus 1 divided by 0.1. Are you getting 2.48? 2.48685191. Okay, that is the present value of an ordinary annuity. Okay? Then we'll proceed with the present value factor of an annuity due. So that is 1.1, dalawang divide, dalawang equals na lang because there is an advance payment. 1, 2, di ba? Okay, minus 1 divided by 0.1 minus 1. Are you getting 2.73? 55371907. Chat box, please. Yes. Okay, so we're now done with those present value factors and we are now ready to solve the succeeding problems. Okay, so pwede na tayo mag-solve. So here, okay, lipat natin sa para isang file, no? Para after the class, load kagad. Okay, so this is now your problem 6. At sinabi natin kanina that this is lump sum, therefore, we will be using the present value factor of 1. Okay? So, and the requirements are to compute for the January 1 present value and the succeeding present value, carrying values. So we will be using the effective interest method of amortization. I will just present this for the first time, and the succeeding kasi hindi naman natin to gagamitin. Okay. So this is January 1. So this is 20x1. Bakit may x1 tsaka 2020? Siguro 2021 ito. Okay? Hindi. 2019 pala. January 1, 2019. Okay. So this is 2019. Okay? So, to complete, no? To complete. So, wala naman tayo dyan receipts or collection. Walang collection kasi sa ano eh. This is your interest income. Interest income. And this is now your amortization. I'm using this for illustrative purposes, but for examination purposes, di natin kailangan to. Kailangan calculate lang ginagamit natin. These are now the present value or the carrying values. Okay. Again, this is a long-term non-interest bearing note lump sum, and sabi natin the the initial measurement is at present value, and since this is lump sum, we will be using the present value factor of 1. Okay? So what is now the present value factor of 1 at 12%? N is equal to how many years is that? 3 years, di ba? That is 2019, 2020, 2021. So chat box please. What is the present value factor of 1 at 12%? N is equal to 3. Okay, 1.12 dalawang divide tatlong equals, you should be getting 0.711, okay, 780. Gamitin lang natin yung buo class, okay? Yung nasa kalki mo. So times 1 million, 1 million. So this is now your initial measurement, di ba? This is 711, 780. Rounded off. Okay? So, let's now go to December 31, 2019. Okay? So, ilagay ko na lahat class, no? So, December 31, 2019, December 31, 2020, and December 31, 2021. Okay. Wala naman tayong collection dyan, class eh. Wala eh. Kasi hindi naman to installment eh. So, zero ito. Yan. Wala ito. But wala yan kasi hindi naman tayo installment. Wala tayong installment collection. So, ang kikitain nito, interest income. At the end of the credit period, magsasama na dyan yung principal and interest mo. That is your collectible. Okay? So, ang interest income mo will always be dependent on the effective rate. If this is your effective rate. Yan. Okay. And the effective rate is what? That is 12%. So the effective rate is 12%. Okay? So yung 711,780 mo times 12%, makukuha mo ngayon yung interest. Na magkano? 85,414 rounded off. 85,414. Okay? So that should also be your amortization. Okay? Ano? Ito bang 85,414 na to, will this be added to 711,780 or deducted? Chat box please. Will this be added or deducted? Add. Bakit? Kasi wala ka naman kasing nakukolekta eh. Diba? Kung tayo ang may receivable, siyempre palaki lang ng palaki ang receivable natin doon sa nangutang sa atin. Kaya this will be added. Diba? Plus this. So this is now your carrying value, which is the answer in December 2019, 797,194. Okay. Then times again, 12% effective rate to get the interest income, 95,663. Okay, so this is also your amortization. And this will now be your carrying value. Okay? Yan. So, 892,857. What if I will ask you, what is the carrying value of the note December 31, 2021? Ano sagot mo dito? That should be 1 million. Kasi babalik ka eh. Tandaan mo class, this is non-interest bearing. Itong 1 million na to, may bunga yan. Di ba? Puno na may bunga. Nakuha. So, tatanggalin mo yung bunga, kaya minultiply mo ng present value factor, kaya 711,780 lang yan. So, the unearned interest income here versus 1 million is only, is what? Is 200 something. So, this is, ano lang eh. So, this is 1 million minus this. Okay, baka kulang ng 0. Okay. Yan. Yan yon. That is 288,220. That is your unearned interest income. If you will continue here, you have your 892,857 times 12%. So this is 10,714. 107,143. 107,143 rounded off. Okay? So this is also your amortization, which should be added here. Magiging 1 million na yan. Okay? Yan siya. So, etong 288,220, ito yon. This unearned interest income will be earned, no, as interest income over the passage of time. Kaya pag ito, tinotal mo, yun din yun. 288,220. Ano yung mga tinatanong dito? Present value and the carrying values. Yan yung tanong dito. So, January 2019, that is 711,780, and the corresponding carrying values in the succeeding years, ito. Okay? Paano naman pag tinanong ka ng unearned interest income? You will just compare the present value and the carrying values to the outstanding face amount. So, this is the outstanding face amount. Okay? So, kasi class, hindi mo to kailangan. Yan. Para ma-compute ito, you will just use 711,780 times 1.12, kuha mo yan, times 1.12, kuha mo yan, times 1.12, kuha mo yan. Okay? So, wala kang gagawin ganito sa exam. Lump sum yan, interest lang ang kakarga dyan. So, 711,780 times 1.12 times 1.12 times 1.12. Yan na yung carrying values natin. If you're asked to compute what is the interest income, therefore, get the carrying value or present value times the effective rate. Let's say you're asked to compute what is the interest income in 2020. So, you will use the beginning. Since this is December 31, 2019, that is also the beginning in 2020 times the effective rate of 12%, kuha mo to. Okay, if you're asked to compute what is the unearned interest income, just compare the carrying values. Di ba wala ka nito? Wala ka niyan eh. Ang meron ka lang sa papel mo ito eh, times 711,780 times 1.12, times 1.12 times 1.12, di ba? Okay. If you're asked to compute the unearned interest income, just compare this with the outstanding face amount. At makukuha mo yan. Yan yun. These are now the unearned interest income on its corresponding period. Example, what is the unearned interest income 2019? Ito. Kung gagamitin mo effective interest method of amortization, ito yun. This is the unearned interest income as far as 2019 is concerned. Kasi this was already earned. So that is what? That is 95,000 plus 107. Yan yun. So this is 202,806. Nasaan yun? Ito yun. No? Okay, kaya just compare the present value and the corresponding face amount. Okay, so that is now your item 6. Let's now go to item 7. In item 7 class, please go to your handout. No? Kasi ang kukunin ko lang dito yung nasa page 2. Putol eh. Okay, so this is problem 7. Okay. In problem 7, meron pang statement sa taas yan. Kaso ang kailangan ko lang naman dito ito. Di ba? And a non-interest bearing note receivable of 1 million due in 4 equal annual installments. Okay. Starting December 31, 2019 and every December 31 thereafter. Okay. So let's now dissect the problem. This is a non-interest bearing note and this is a long-term non-interest bearing note. Okay. What is now the initial measurement of a long-term non-interest bearing note? Chat box, please. Okay. What is the initial measurement of a long-term non-interest bearing note? Daanan lang natin yung konsepto that should be initially measured at present value and subsequently measured at amortized cost. Okay? Now, is this problem 7 installment or lump sum? Installment. So we will be using the present value of an annuity. Okay? However, there are two types of annuity, ordinary annuity or annuity due. In this problem, since we will be using the present value of an annuity, what type of annuity we will be using? Ordinary or annuity due? We will be using the ordinary annuity since the date of transaction, yung nandun sa taas, yung pinutol ko, January 1 yon. And the date of first installment is December 31. Nakuha. So meaning the date of transaction did not coincide with the date of first installment. So we will be using the present value of an ordinary annuity. And the question now is, what is the present value factor of an ordinary annuity at 12% and is equal to 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. Apat yan. Chat box, please. Yan. Kunin ko na lang to. Okay. Tingnan natin yung sagot nyo. So, sabay-sabay tayo. Ordinary annuity Ordinary annuity ito. That is 1.12. Uy, huwag ka masanay sa 10%, 12% ito. Okay? Dalawang divide, 4 na equals. 1, 2, 3, 4. Minus 1 divided by 0.12. Okay? Ulitin natin. 1.12, dalawang divide, 4 na equals 1, 2, 3, 4 minus 1 divided by 0.12. So you should be getting 3.03735. Ganun siya. Okay. So that is the present value of ordinary annuity. Okay. So gawin ko lang ito. Ito yung effective interest method of amortization. Yan. Okay. So, this time, may receipts na. May collections na eh. Bakit? Merong installment, di ba? Kasi yan in 4 equal annual installments. And this is your interest income and this is your amortization. This is now your present value, carrying value. Okay. So, ang nasa calc mo ngayon is the present value factor. That is 3.037749 times the installment. How much is the installment payment? Di ba? 1 million divided by 4, that is 250,000. Okay? So 3.037, yung gamitin mo yung buo kasi in the present value, in the board exam today, hindi niya na ini-specify kung ilan ang present rounding off number of decimal places. Diba? Unless the problem states. Diba? So, to get the exact choice, gamitin mo yung buo. Yung nasa calc mong mahaba yan, i-multiply mo ng 250,000 installment payment, and that is now your present value here, January 1. So magkano ito? That is 759,337. Okay? Rounded off na ito. Okay, now. Okay. And there are what? There are collections. Ang collections natin, 250,000, di ba? Every December 31. This is 250,000. And these are 250,000. Ilan? 3 taon, 4 na taon. Hanggang 2022. Ayan, 250,000. And the interest income will always be dependent on the, yes, effective rate of 12%. Isang beses ko lang ito gagawin kasi hindi naman natin dapat gawin talaga itong table na to. Okay, so yan. Just to emphasize the concept. So, times 12%. So, this is 91,120. Okay, so versus the 250,000 because the collection is the collection of principal and the interest. And the corresponding collection on interest is 91,120. And the corresponding collection for the principal is 158,880. 158,880 rounded off. Question, will this 158,880 be added or deducted to 759,337? Chat box, please. Okay, this will be deducted. Bakit? Kasi nakakakolekta ka eh. Di ba? Ibig sabihin, class, kapag syempre nangongolekta ka, no? Tapos, ang nangyayari sa receivable mo, tumataas. Hindi naman pwede yon. Magrereklamo yung nangutang sa'yo. Bayad ako ng bayad, dumalaki ang utang ko. Siyempre, pababa ng pababa. So, bumababa ito. So, this is 759 minus 158. Okay, so this is now 600,457. Okay? Unlike kanina, tumataas dito. Bakit tumataas? Wala ka namang nakokolekta eh. Di ba? Tumataas yan because of the interest. Okay? So, tuloy lang natin to. So, that is 600,457 then times 12%. So, this is 72,055. 72,055. Okay, and the difference of which, siguro formula natin dito. Ayan. Ayan. Okay. The amortization is 170. Formula natin daw. Okay. Yan. So this is the 177,945, the amortization. And this is the carrying values. 422,512 times 12%. So this is 50,702 rounded off. Yan siya. So this is 223,214. 199,223,214 is the carrying value. And the amortization for that is 199,298. Okay, so this is the carrying value 2021 times 12%. So this is 26,785. 26,786. Yan. Okay? So this will now be zero. Bakit zero yan? Kasi nakolekta mo na lahat eh. Yan siya oh. Okay? So, If you're asked now, how much is the unearned interest income? This will now be versus the outstanding face amount. This is 1 million. Okay. But before we proceed, ang sabi ko sa iyo kanina, wala tayong ganito. Wala tayo niyan. Kasi ang dapat na nasa calcu mo lang, ang dapat nasa calcu mo lang ay nasa papel mo lang ito. Paano natin yan gagawin? Sige. Let's start from scratch. Okay? Calcu. Clear all the memory ng calcu mo. Okay? Let's start with the present value factor. Okay? So, we will now be getting the present value factor for an ordinary annuity at 12% and is equal to 4. 1.12, dalawang divide, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1.12, dalawang divide, apat na equals 1, 2, 3, 4 minus 1 divided by 0.12. Okay? So your calcu should be showing 3.037345. Okay? Sabay tayo. Your calcu should be providing you 3.0373493467. Yan yung nasa screen ng calcu mo. Times 250,000 equals, are you getting 759,337? Yes or no? Okay, yes. Okay. Memory plus mo, M plus. Okay, M plus. Okay. Times 12% minus 250,000 installment equals memory plus memory recall. Are you getting 600,457? Yes or no? Okay. So your calcu is showing now 600,457. Okay. Tuloy natin. Times 12% minus 250,000 equals memory plus memory recall. Your calcu is showing what amount? Oh. Chat box, your calcu is showing what amount? Yes, that is 422512. So technically, ang kino-compute natin ito. Okay? So from here, times 12% minus 250,000 equals memory plus memory recall. Nako-compute mo tong 223214. Okay? So ganun ang ganun. Sa dulo, 0 yan. Okay? So eto. Ulitin ko 759,337 memory plus. Ito yung simula natin kanina times 12% minus 250,000 equals memory plus memory recall. Nako-compute mo ito. 600,457 pag nag-recall ka na. Times 12% minus 250,000 equals memory plus memory recall. Nako-compute mo to. Times 12% minus 250,000 equals memory plus memory recall. Nako-compute mo to. Kung gusto mong ituloy, mapapatunayan mong 0 yan. Times 12% minus 250,000 equals memory plus recall. Memory recall, ito yan. Okay? So, what if you're asked to compute the unearned interest income? You will just compare this. Ito lang yung nasa nasa papel mo These are your present values and the succeeding carrying values. Diba? Now, if we're asked to compute what is the interest income for 2020, just multiply this with effective rate of 12%. Makukuha mo yung interest income na. Okay? If you're asked to compute what is the amortization for 12/31/2019, the difference between the two is the amortization. Okay? The difference between the two is the amortization. Okay. If we're asked to compute what is the unearned interest income versus the outstanding face amount, answer 240,663. How about for 2019? What is now the unearned interest income? What is now the outstanding face amount? Answer. What is now the outstanding face amount here? The outstanding face amount is not anymore 1 million. Unlike here, the outstanding face amount is 1 million, 1 million, 1 million. Why? Because there is no collection. Nakuha. How about here? 1 million January 1, but in December 31, this is not anymore 1 million because there is a collection that has been made on December 31, 2019. And the outstanding face amount here is how much? 750,000. Okay? Yan siya. And dito, 500,000. And dito, 250,000. At dito, 0. Okay? Pag binangga mo yan, itong face amount sa present value or carrying values, ang nakukuha mo is the unearned interest income. Okay? Yan yan. So, let's say, December 31, 2019, the unearned interest income is these three. Itong tatlo ang unearned interest income nyo. Yan. 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 As far as December 31 is concerned, 2019. Pag kinuha mo yan, that is 72 plus 50 plus 26. Yan, yan. 149,540. At yun yun. Okay? So, again, wala tayong ganito sa board exam. Memory plus memory recall, ang nare-release niya lang na dapat nasa calculum. Ito lang. Okay? Sige. Before we proceed class, water break lang, no? One minute lang class. Okay? Thank you. Okay, so let's proceed. So this is now your item 7. Let's now go to item 8. Sa item 8 naman natin class, this is still a non-interest bearing note. Okay? Yan. Okay. Then, this is a long-term non-interest bearing note and equal annual installment still. Okay. Then, the initial measurement is at present value and the subsequent measurement is at amortized cost. Okay. Then, since this is installment, we will be using the present value of an annuity. Okay. Next question. What type of annuity? Ordinary annuity or annuity due? Chat box, please. Annuity due. Okay. And what is now the present value factor? What is now the present value factor of an annuity due at 12% and is equal to 4? Oh, answer. So, gawin natin. 1.12, dalawang divide, tatlong equals na lang. Kasi may advance payment eh. 1, 2, 3 minus 1 divided by 0.12 minus 1. So, your calculus should be showing 3.4018,183. Okay? This is January 1. Okay? So, times what? Times 250,000. Wag muna. Okay? Hintayin natin yung iba. Times 250,000. Chat box, please. So, answer. So, that is 850,458. O, yan na. So, this is 850,458. Okay. That is your January 1. Ang sabi niya dito, carrying values every January 1. So, this is now January 1, 2019 still. Okay? May collection dyan na 250,000. Siyempre, walang interest yan. Bakit walang interest? Interest is earned due to passage of time. Okay? So meaning, amortization mo dito, yung 250,000 lang din. Okay? So your carrying value now, January 1, 2019, 600,458. Ang tanong, kailan mo isasagot, sir, ang 850 at ang 600 sa January 1? 1. If the requirement is for you to compute for the present value of the note January 1, the answer is 850,458. If ang tanong, what is the initial measurement of the receivable January 1, 2019? Ang sagot pa rin, 850,458. Pero pag ang tanong, what is the carrying value? What is the carrying value January 1, 2019? Sagot mo, 600,458 na. Okay? Pag ang tanong, what is the outstanding balance of the receivable January 1, 2019? Ang sagot mo, 600,458 na. Pag ang tanong, what is the initial carrying value of the note receivable January 1, 2019? Ang sagot mo, 600,458 na. Okay? So, ganun siya. So, coming from this 200, from this 600,458, dyan mo na patatakbohin. So, this is times 12%, and that is 72,055 minus the 250,000. Okay, then the corresponding carrying value here is 422513. Okay, times 12%. Ito na yun. And the corresponding amortization is 1,99298. And this is the carrying value. Okay, so this is 223. Lagyan natin 214. At sumakto ka. Okay, yan. Yan na siya. Okay? And these are the corresponding unearned interest income. Just compare this with the outstanding phase. But this is January. January 2020. January 2020. January 1, 2020. January 1, 2021 and 2022. 21, 2022. These are all January class. Okay? Kaya lang, sabi ko nga sa iyo, wala to. Yan dapat lumalabas sa calcu mo. Ang nasa calcu mo lang is ito lang. Okay? So after getting this, minus 600,000 for 28, ito na nasa calcu mo, memory plus mo to, times 12%, no? Minus 250,000 equals memory plus memory recall, kuha mo to, times 12% minus 250,000 equals memory plus memory recall, kuha mo to. Okay? At syempre zero yan. Because you've already collected all the face amount. Okay? And to compute for the unearned interest income, just compare this with your outstanding face. And that is your item 8. Okay? Let's go now to item 9. Okay. In item 9 class, yeah. In item 9, ano pa rin to? Non-interest bearing note pa din. 3-year pa rin siya. Okay? Nga lang class, meron siyang due as follows, 600, 400,000, 200,000, which are non-uniform. Okay? Tapos tinatanong ka ng January 1. Let's dissect. This is a long-term non-interest bearing note. The initial measurement is at present value and the subsequent measurement is amortized cost. Is this lump sum or installment? Chat box, please. Lump sum or installment? Installment. If that is installment, what is the present value factor to be used? Supposed to be, since this is installment, you will use the present value of an annuity. Supposed to be. However, the present value factor of an annuity is only used for uniform cash flows. Okay? Kanina, di ba, meron tayong equal annual installments, di ba, ganon. Uniform yun. Kaya from getting the present value factor of an annuity, minumultiply mo na siya sa installment payment. However, for non-uniform cash flow such like this, you cannot use the present value of an annuity. You will go back to the present value factor of 1. So to get the present value, initial measurement, di ba, meron tayong ganito. Meron tayong ganyan. Para makuha mo tong January 1, gagamit ka ng present value factor of 1. So, by multiplying the initial, the outstanding or the collectibles, no, by present value factor of 1. Okay? So, these are your collections, which are 600,000, 400,000, and 200,000. I-multiply mo ngayon yan sa corresponding present value factor of 1. So this is now PB of 1. So what is now the present value factor of 1 at 10%, at 10%, n is equal to 1. Okay? So 1.10, dalawang divide equals. So this is now 0.9090. Yan yun. The second equals is 0.826. And the third equals is 0.7513. And this is now your present value here. Okay? Let's compute. 1.1, dalawang divide, unang equals, times, plus, 1 point, teka, 1.1 ako ng 1.1, 10% ba ito? Yes. Times 400,000 equals 1.1, 123. Equals. Okay. So the objective is to compute for this, and that is 600,000 times this, 400,000 times this, 200,000 times this, and the total, that is the present value. Okay? So what is the present value? That is 1,026,000. It depends on how many present value factors did we use, di ba? Okay, kaya nga ang gagawin mo dyan, 1.1, dalawang divide, unang equal, 6 times 600,000, memory plus. No? Tapos, all clear mo, 1.1, dalawang divide, dalawang equals para makuha mo to, times 400,000, memory plus. Okay? Pero you should be getting 1,026,000. Ito yun. So this is 1 million to be exact, using the present value factors not rounded off in 4 or 6 decimal places. This is 1,026,296. Okay, kung nag-round off ka, basta makuha mo yung 1,026,000. Okay? Tapos maaring magbago sa last 3 digits. Okay? So then we'll proceed. Buhayin ko nga ito para hindi ka nalilito. Yan. Okay? Ayan. So here, nung December, may collection ka na 600,000 here. This is 600,000. Okay? And the interest here is 1,026,000 times 12%. And this is your amortization here. Added or deducted? Siyempre, papunta ka saan? Ay, sorry. Punta ka sa may collection, papunta ka sa 0. Okay? So this should be deducted. Okay? Yan. This is now your unearned interest income. Just compare this with your outstanding fees amount. Okay? Then, so, next question. This 19, 20, 21. Hanggang 21 lang to. Tanong, what is the carrying value of the receivable 2021? 2021. 10%. Sorry. Thank you, 10%. Ayan. What is the carrying value 2021? Sagot. Ito. Answer should be, may collection, tatandaan mo. Pag may collection, makukolekta na lahat ng 1.2. So this should be what? 0. Bakit ko tinanong yan? Kasi may lumabas na isang tanong. Ang sabi ganito. Okay? 10 million. 100 million pala. 100 million. 10% interest. Okay? In 100 equal installments. What is the carrying value on the 100th year? Sagot. 100 million, 10% interest, installment, equal installment in 100 years. No? What is the carrying value of the note on the 100th year? Your answer should be 0. Okay? Kung tutuloy mo to, this is 400,000. This is 200,000. And the same method applies here. Okay. So this is times 10%. So this is times 8%. 10%. Yan siya. Okay? Okay. Pero class, sabi ko nga, you don't need to use or to complete this. No? Hindi mo kailangan. So dito may nagmamature na 600 collection. Yan, pababa ng pababa. Okay. Ito wala na yan. Okay. (2019, 2020, 2020). Okay. Then the question here is, wala na pala. Carrying values lang tinatanong. Okay? So 600, 400,000, 200,000. Okay. So the answers for this one is 2019, 2020, 2021. These are as follows. Ito. Okay? So those are your problems under non-interest bearing loan. Paano naman sa interest bearing? Ito, discuss ko na. No? Kasi para hindi lumusot. Ito kasama to sa ni-record kong video. Pero sayang kasi kung ilalabas natin. Okay. Okay. So these are now your interest bearing, no? Interest bearing note na with unrealistic interest. Yan. May heading naman ito. Ayan o. Okay. So, we're done with non-interest bearing. Dito tayo sa interest bearing. Okay. Ang akala kasi ng karamihan, no? Ganun din kasimple. Nasaan yung concept map natin na nandito lang? Yan, okay. Ang interest bearing. Simple siya, class, kung realistic. Kasi face amount lang yan, simple interest lang yan. Okay? Times rate times time. Di ba? Ganun lang siya. The face amount times rate times time and the subsequent measurement at net realizable value as if nandun ka sa short term. Pero kapag naging unrealistic rate yan, meron kang tinatawag na premium or discount. Okay? Tingnan natin. Ano ba kasi ang pagkakaiba niyan, sir? Bukod dun sa puno na sinabi mo. Tandaan mo, class, ang interest bearing, dalawa ang makikita mong rate. The effective rate and the stated rate. Puntahan natin yung isang problem dito. Ayan, no? Kahit na hindi mo basahin ang problem, gaano, isa lang ang nakikita mong rate. So, this is non-interest bearing. Dito, isa lang effective rate lang yan non-interest bearing yan. Dito, isa lang din, non-interest bearing yan. Dito, isa lang din, non-interest bearing yan. Dito, meron ka dito 10% note, meron ka dito 8%. This is what? The stated rate or the nominal rate. This is the effective rate. That is now interest bearing. Okay. Next concept. Ang discount or premium, lalabas lang yan sa interest bearing. Because there is the comparison of effective rate and the nominal rate. Okay? Kapag non-interest bearing, discount lang yan. What is the discount? Yun yung unearned interest income. Okay. Bakit discount lang? Dahil ba, sir, effective rate lang ang meron? That's one. Pero class, ang pinaka-logic niya, ganito. Diba, kino-compare mo rin ang face amount sa present value. If the face amount is higher than the present value, there is a discount. Okay? If the face amount is lower than the present value, there is a premium. Kapag equal, no discount or premium. Punta tayo ngayon sa konsepto. Non-interest bearing note. Would there be a chance na ang face amount mo mas mababa sa present value mo? Yes or no? Imagine mo yung dalawang puno. Yung puno na may bunga, that is the face amount. Non-interest bearing. Would there be a chance na yung face amount na yan mas mababa sa present value? May chance ba o wala? Teka, i-retype mo yung sagot mo. Baka ito yung kanina Imagine mo yung puno na may bunga. That is the face amount Would there be a chance na yung puno na may bunga na yan mas mababa kaysa sa present value? Di ba ang ginagawa nga natin dyan sa present value with bunga, minumultiply mo yan sa present value factor para makuha mo lang yung puno? Di ba? Would there be a chance na yung puno with bunga magiging mas mababa kesa sa puno lang? May ganun bang instance? Wala. Di ba? Kung wala, kaya hindi yan magkakaroon ng premium. Laging ang face amount niyan mas mataas sa present value. Kaya discount lang yan. Dito sa interest bearing with unrealistic rate, dyan pwede. Okay? So, ganito. So, present value yan, amortized cost. Tandaan mo, interest bearing na pinag-uusapan natin ngayon with unrealistic rate. Pag with unrealistic rate, the effective rate is not equal to the nominal rate. Okay. Next na question. Paano yan isosolve, sir? Pag ganito, class, the first thing that you will do after identifying that there is an unrealistic rate interest bearing, identify. Lump sum ba yan or installment? Kasi itong present value na yan should be the present value of all future cash flows. Okay? Ang lump sum kasi, lump sum, okay? Ang future cash flows niyan manggagaling doon sa principal which will be earned, no? Which will be collected at the end of the credit period. Therefore, you will multiply that with the present value factor of 1. Yang interest, matatanggap mo yan on a regular basis. Yan nga yung sinabi sa iyo eh. Yan no, interest bearing, natatanggap ka ng 10% on a regular basis. Okay? Let's say on an annual basis, ganyan. Ito yon. Yung mga yan. Yan yung interest na nakikita mo dito. Tinatanggap mo yan. Okay? Yan yung interest bearing. Okay? So, if the long-term interest bearing is lump sum, the future cash flows will come from the collection of principal and the collection of interest. Okay? And the collection of principal, matatanggap mo yan at the end of the credit period, while the collection of interest, matatanggap mo yan on a regular basis. Kaya this will now be multiplied with the present value of an ordinary annuity. Next question. Would there be a chance na yung present value, na yung interest mo, imumultiply sa present value of an annuity due? Yes or no? Sa tingin mo lang, sa tingin mo, would there be a chance that the interest will be multiplied with the present value of an annuity due? What do you think? Yan lang ang tanong. Ano sa tingin mo? Sige class, ano lang. Para maano natin. Diyan kasi ako nagbe-base sa sagot mo eh. Kung gaano kalalim ang magiging explanation natin. Pansinin mo. Sabi sa'yo, kikita ka ng interest. Kikita ka ng interest. Let's say today is January 1. Kikita ka ng interest semi-annually. Semi-annual. Okay. So, pag January 1 ngayon, ibig sabihin, bandang July 1 yan, December 31. Meron kaya na instance na ang sabi, kikita ka ng 10% interest at babayaran ka na ng corresponding interest ngayon. May instance na pwedeng i-advance, pero unearned mo yon, liability mo yon, di ba? Kasi hindi mo pa naman na-earn eh. Di ba? Ang tanong ganito, would there be a chance that you will be earning interest income at the date of transaction? Yes or no? Would there be a chance na mag-recognize ka na ng interest income on January 1? Baliktarin ko or analogy. Would there be a chance na may bunga na yung ibibigay sa'yo ng January 1? Wala. Meron. Wala o meron? Ganito na lang pasimplihin natin. Interest is earned when? After the passage of time. Okay? Interest, I'm talking about interest income here. Okay. Interest is earned after the passage of time. So my question now, would there be a chance that you will be earning interest income on the date of transaction? Yes or no? No. Okay. Would there be a chance that the interest now will be multiplied by the present value of an annuity? If there is no chance that you will be earning interest income also at the date of transaction, would there be a chance that that will be multiplied with the present value of an annuity due? Di ba ang annuity due, date of transaction, date of first collection. Di ba? Date of transaction, January 1, date of interest income January 1. Would there be a chance now that the date of transaction January 1, okay, would there be a chance that you will also be earning interest income January 1? Yes or no? No. Kasi nga, interest is earned due to passage of time. Now, would there be a chance that the interest be multiplied by the present value fund or annuity due? Wala. Walang ganon. There is no chance that the interest will be multiplied by the present value of an annuity due. Kaya dito, ang interest mo lagi dyan, present value of an ordinary annuity. Hey, next. So this is lump sum, lump sum. Paano ngayon kung installment? Kasi class, what we are settling here is the present value, the initial measurement. Okay? If that is unrealistic, present value of all future cash flows. If that is lump sum, the future cash flows is the principal and interest. And that principal should be multiplied by the present value factor of 1. And the interest should be multiplied by the present value of an ordinary annuity. Okay. What if the note is installment? Okay. Pag installment class, your cash flows are what? Your collections. Kasi nga may collection ka, installment. Yan ang future cash flow mo. Okay? And the collection is what? That is the collection of principal and interest on the outstanding principal balance. Okay? That will be multiplied now with the present value factor of 1. To illustrate, let's now go to the illustration. Ito naman may sagot na eh. Nga lang, huwag mong pansinin lahat. Okay, why? Kasi dahan-dahanin natin yan. Okay. January 1, Carter Company received a 4-year 10% note having a face amount of 4 million. Okay? For the sale of its equipment which has a carrying cost of 5 million and 3.5 respectively. The prevailing market rate on a similar note is 8%. This is the nominal rate and this is the effective rate. Would there be, if this problem, if the effective rate is also 10%, madali lang yun. That is interest-bearing note to be measured at face amount and subsequently measured at net realizable value. And I doubt na lalabas sa problem solving yon. Madalang. Okay. So, ito, hindi pareho ang nominal at effective mo. The nominal rate here is 10% and the effective rate is 8%. Okay. Di ba pinapatandaan ko sa yung end, E and D. If the nominal is greater than if the effective is greater than the nominal, then there is a discount. Okay. Without looking at these solutions, effective rate is 8%, nominal is 10%. What is now the resulting transaction? Would there be a discount or premium? That box, please. Premium. Okay. Ito siya. The nominal rate, the effective rate is less than the nominal rate. Premium tayo dyan. Okay. Next thing to identify, is this lump sum or installment? Lump sum. Wala namang sinabing wala namang sinabing collection. Okay? Sabi dyan, journal entries, ganyan. Okay. Interest is paid every December 31. Interest is paid June 30 and December 31. Let's take the first one. Sinasabi lang naman, annual ang interest dito. Okay. So, this is an interest-bearing note. Next thing to ask, is this realistic or unrealistic? Determine if these two are equal. Unrealistic, sir. Okay. If that is unrealistic, the initial measurement is at present value and subsequently measured at amortized cost. Is this lump sum or installment? Lump sum. Okay? Kung lump sum yan, what are now the future cash flows of this? Ito yun. The principal of 4 million. Okay? And the interest. What is the interest? Annual interest. That is 4 million times 10%. That is 400,000 to be received every December 31. Nakuha. O, yun. So this present value of principal, 4 million, and the present value of ordinary interest of that 400,000 interest, ito yon. Ordinary annuity, ito, present value of factor of 1. And this is now the present value of the note. And this is what? The present value of all future cash flows. Nakuha. Okay. So ito na siya. Okay? Then tatakbo na ulit. Okay? Dito, hindi collection ang ilalagay mo. The interest receivable. Yan, yung 400,000 na annual. Interest income will always be coming from the carrying values, present values times the interest income. Yan yung 8%. And just use the memory plus memory recall. Okay? So, this is the yes, you have your premium. This is now the outstanding premium. Okay? And this is now the amortization of premium. The amortization of premium is just the difference between the previous one, like this. 264 minus 206, that is 58. Okay? Which is actually equal to this. Okay? Nga lang kasi hindi mo nga ito nakikita eh. Di ba? Kasi nga, ang pinapakuha ko lang sa lagi is this. So after getting this, patakbuhin mo, times the effective rate of 8% minus 400,000 equals memory plus memory recall, ito yun. Times 8% minus 400,000 equals memory plus memory recall, ito yun. And so on and so forth. Ayan. O, eto. Ano ang ending niyan? That is 4 million. Okay? Equal to what? Equal to the principal. Okay? Ayan. Kasi nga, this can be collected when? At the end of the, yes, at the end of the credit period. And the interest is to be collected on a periodic basis. Every December 31. Okay. Ito naman, wala lang to. Kasi ginawa niya lang semi-annual eh. Okay? So kung semi-annual yan, ibig sabihin, 200,000 na ito. Okay? Tapos ito, present value factor of what? Present value factor of 1 for the principal using at 4% effective rate. Kasi nga semi-annual divided by 2. N is equal to 8. Diba? 4 na taon ito. 4 years. Kung 2 beses sa isang taon, di 4 times 2, 8. Okay? So, wala lang naman ito. Naging semi-annual lang naman. The same procedure applies. Okay? So, 4 million times the present value factor of 1, and this is present interest, no? 4 million times 5%, kasi mahahati din yan, times the present value of an ordinary annuity. Okay? And the same procedure applies here. So, the main difference only between 1 and 2 is just the interest payments. Number 1, annually. Number 2, that is semi-annual. Next. Okay. Problem 13. Ano yan? May nominal rate, may effective rate. So this is what? This is interest bearing. Okay? So, is this a premium or discount? Tingnan mo. The effective rate is lower than the nominal rate. Answer, premium or discount? Premium. Para mas mabilis ka, tingnan mo na lang ito. May heading kasi. Okay, wag yan. Basta dito lang. Ayan. Next question. Lump sum or installment? Sagot. Lump sum or installment? Installment. Okay. Going back to the concept. Kapag installment yan, ano ang future cash flow mo? Collections. Okay? Pag lump sum, ano ang future cash flows mo? Principal and interest. Principal times the present value factor of 1, interest times the present value of an ordinary annuity. Kapag installment, may collection ka. Collection of the principal and interest on the outstanding principal balance. Ito yon. Tingnan mo ha. Ang sabi ng problem, yan, 5 million kasi, 5 million. Yan yung receivable. Okay. The payment terms call for 4 equal payments of the principal and interest on the outstanding balance of the note every December 31, starting December 31, 2023. Okay. 4 installments. Ibig sabihin, equal daw eh. So, 5 million divided by 4, that is 1,250. Okay. So, eto ka ngayon. Kanina kasi, walang collection. Kaya ang initial measurement mo, ang future cash flows mo, ito, principal and interest. Kapag lump sum, kapag installment, ang collection mo, ito, yung collections. Yung future cash flows mo. Paano nakukuha yan? Principal plus interest on the outstanding principal balance. Okay? So, parang ganito. Itong principal na to, outstanding principal nito, from January 1 to December 31, 2023, 5 million. Nakakolekta ng 1,250. The outstanding principal balance, yung interest kasi manggagaling yan doon sa outstanding principal. 5 million yan isang taon eh. 5 million times 10%. Okay? 500,000. So the collection here is 1,750. 1,250 plus 500, that is 1,750. Next, December 31, 2024, the outstanding principal is not anymore 5 million. Kasi may nag-mature na 1,250. Collection ng principal na 1,250. 5 million minus 1,250, 3,750 na yan. Ito kasi ang basis ng interest mo eh. Okay, kaya dito sa 2024 mo, your collection is 1,250. Again, this came from 4 equal annual installments. And the interest is times 10%. Okay, yun no, times the nominal rate. So, 1,250 plus 375, that is 1,625. Okay, next. Ito ulit. Outstanding principal is not anymore 3,750. May nag-mature o na 1,250. May na-collecta, di ba? Na 1,250. So, this is now 2,500. 1 o 2,500. Ganun ulit, times 10% and so on and so forth. Basta yung collection mo, coming from the principal plus the interest on the outstanding principal balance. Since these are now non-uniform cash flows, kahit na installment yan, di ba ganun yung ginawa natin kanina, kahit na installment yan, you will now be using the present value factor. Okay, so this is now 0.93. Paano nakuha yan? 1.07, dalawang divide, unang equals ito, pangalawang equals ito, pangatlong equals ito, pang-apat na equals ito. And the total is 5,328,280. Okay? So, yan yon. So, dito ka na. Yan na. Ito na yun. Yung nandito class, pareho lang din na nandyan. 5,328,280. Ganun na ulit. Times effective rate of 7% minus 1,750,000 equals memory plus memory recall. Kuha mo to. Okay? Times 7% minus in collection mo ito, minus 1,625 equals memory plus memory recall. Kuha mo to. Times 7% minus 1.5 million equals memory plus memory recall. Kuha mo yan. Okay? So, again, pag tinanong ka, what is the outstanding balance of the premium? Just compare this with the outstanding face amount. Okay? Tandaan mo, nagbabago ang outstanding face amount mo kapag may collection. Hindi ito magbabago if lump sum. Parang ito, lump sum to kanina. Okay? Next tayo. Okay. So, this is an interest-bearing note still. Bakit? Kahit hindi mo basahin eh. Kasi meron ka nito, stated rate and the effective rate. Kaya nga sa Churi, di ba ganun ang mga tanong? Na ano, if the note has stated rate and effective rate, is what type of note is that? Mga ganun. Mga Churi, di ba? Okay. O di, ganun ulit. So, this is installment. And this is interest-bearing. And this is at a discount. Okay? Since this is installment concept, your future cash flows will come from your collections. Collections of principal and interest and outstanding principal balance times the present value factor of 1. SLPB of 1. Dito yon. Ito na yon. The same process. These are your collections on the principal, on the principal related to that 5 million. And this is the outstanding principal balance. 5 million from January 1 to December 31. Minus 1,250, that is now 3,750. Minus 1,250, that is 2,5. Minus 1,250, this is 1,250. And the interest came from the outstanding principal balance. Times the nominal rate, 8%. Ito yun. Times the nominal rate, 8%. Ito yun. Times the nominal rate, 8%. Ito yun. And this is the last one. Times the present value factor. Okay. The present value factor will always be dependent on the effective rate. Okay. So 1.10, dalawang divide. Unang equals, ito yon. Pangalawang equals, ito yon. Pangatlo, pang-apat. And this is now the present value of the note, January 1. Ito yun. Okay. So your collections here would come from the computed collections here. Yan siya. Okay? So, ingat ka dito, kalasa. Dahil ang daming tinatanong sa notes receivable, no? At yung mga nakarang examinations, hindi siya nawawala. Okay? Meaning, dati kasi ang tinututukan lang non-interest bearing. Ngayon, pati interest bearing with unrealistic interest, lumalabas na. Okay, so this will now be memory plus memory recall. Practice this kasi dapat ito lang ang nasa calculum. And all the questions can be solved using these figures. Pag tinanong ka ng interest income, di coming from here, diba? Interest income dito, coming from here, times the effective rate. Okay, pag tinanong ka an amortized discount, the difference between the two versus the outstanding face amount. Pag tinanong kang carrying values, ito na yun. Okay? Yan yung interest-bearing notes receivable natin. Okay? So, ingat dyan. So, ilagay ko na dito ito para itong Excel file na to, that would be a complete file for your interest-bearing and non-interest-bearing note. Question before we call it a day. Can we have a copy of problem 12 to 14? Yes, kasi ano yun yung module 3 natin. The module 3 concentrated on receivable financing and receivable financing tsaka yung interest bearing. Okay? Pa-share ng concept map. O sige, i-share natin yung concept map. I-send ko kagad yung Excel file. Kaya nilagay na natin lahat doon. Ang nakalagay lang Excel file, yung date ng lecture. Okay? So, please master this kasi kapag hindi mo to na-master, problema na naman tayo sa notes payable. All topics discussed. That is the coverage of first freeboard natin, including the recording of videos on the receivable financing. Okay, ingat, no? Ingat kayo. Kaya natin yan, no? The concept would be our tool for passing this far, no? And all other subjects, please be on a conceptual base. Wala na tayong time, no? To solve many problems, and concept will be the key. Okay, ingat po. Let's call it today. See you next meeting. Salamat.